These three books, Church Fathers as spiritual mentors, the Reformers and Puritans as spiritual mentors, and 18th century evangelicals as spiritual mentors, are a trilogy. They are bound together in a number of ways. They're all mostly biographical studies in which we look at various figures in the first 500 years, which is the patristic period, the Church Fathers, and then the Reformation and Puritan era, which is the 1600s, and then the 18th century obviously is the 1700s. They're bound together also by the fact that the common trilogy you find sometimes in the New Testament of faith, love, and hope is the kind of subtitle of each of the books picks up one of those three items. So the Church Fathers is faith is illumined because the Church Fathers particularly hammered out the whole area of who is God and who is the Lord Jesus Christ. Their hammering out of the doctrine of the Trinity and Christology are very, very important for the history of the church. And then hope is kindled, and that's looking at the Reformers and Puritans, which after a long period of spiritual decline through the Middle Ages, it's not as barren a period, I think, sometimes as evangelicals or Protestants have made out. But there is no doubt that it is a period of spiritual decline. And the Reformation is a rekindling, a rediscovery of the hope of the New Testament promises of salvation. Hence, hope is kindled. And then finally, the theme of love, which is picked up in the 18th century. Most of the 18th century preachers, men like Edwards, Jonathan Edwards, the American divine, George Whitefield, the British English evangelist, John Wesley, and then figures later, people like John Newton, Andrew Fuller, they were very, very strongly convinced that the heart of the Christian life was divine love, and thus love is unfurled, being the subtitle of the 18th century evangelicals. And so these three books are really kind of snapshots of three very important key eras of the history of the church: the early period, the Reformation and Puritan movements, and then the 18th century, a period of revivals, by looking at key themes and ideas, but through the lives of central figures in those three eras.